I'm Cindy Clark, the Director of Commercial Initiatives and Strategy at the Focused Ultrasound Foundation. Recently, I accessed some excellent business market research reports and thought that the market analyst observations would be interesting to the FUS community, particularly FUS entrepreneurs and investors. To set expectations, this is not a scientific presentation. The foundation has great scientific resources, and I've included some of those links in the supplemental slides. Broadly speaking, liquid biopsy is a non invasive test that finds biomarkers in bodily fluids, usually blood. It can be performed in a lab following a simple blood draw. Multiple biomarkers are associated with different diseases. For example, in cancer, most of us are familiar with DNA. Numerous other biomarkers can be measured in bodily fluids, and they can be used to diagnose disease, pick therapies for a patient, or monitor therapy response. Although liquid biopsies are non invasive, the standard of care today for cancer diagnosis is still tissue biopsy. In the future, market analysts predict that liquid biopsy will become as common, if not more common, than tissue biopsy for all cancers. Analysts are predicting significant growth in this market in the next 5 years. It's a multi-billion-dollar market, and it's garnering significant attention in the industry. Recently, numerous high-profile deals have occurred in this space, and there's over 30 competitors, including some in the top 5 are QIAGEN, Roche, Bio-Rad, and Myriad Genetics. The challenge for brain diseases in general, and glioblastoma specifically, is that the blood-brain barrier prevents cells from leaving the brain, and it makes it difficult to find the biomarkers that are circulating in blood that can be measured. Because focused ultrasound increases the permeability of the blood-brain barrier, it provides great opportunity for focused ultrasound in the neurospace, including glioblastoma. The worldwide glioblastoma incidence is about 250,000 patients. It's less frequent than other types of cancers like lung or breast cancer, and consequently, analysts have set a smaller market size for glioblastoma, about 114 million by next year. Published first in human data and preclinical data demonstrate that by temporarily increasing the permeability of the blood-brain barrier, focused ultrasound can safely increase circulating biomarkers that are detectable by liquid biopsy. The citations to this data are in the backup materials. Companies that are developing focused ultrasound for liquid biopsy include Carthera, Cordance, Delsona, and Incytec. The blood-brain barrier has limited the ability of multi-cancer tests like Foundation One, Guardant, and DX Cover to detect brain cancer. Small clinical studies were done to see how effective they were at detecting glioblastoma, but none of them were good enough for clinician adoption. Published data on these studies is also available in the supplemental slides. The opportunity for focused ultrasound to potentially increase accuracy of these and other single and multi-cancer tests is excellent. By increasing the circulating biomarkers in the blood, focused ultrasound can not only improve the ability of the existing liquid biopsy test to detect glioblastoma in blood, but it can also be used to expand the use of liquid biopsy for more than just disease diagnosis. It can be used to measure targeted therapy response, which is one of the market drivers for growth that was noted by the analysts. It's a great opportunity for focused ultrasound in any of the brain diseases. Other market drivers that were noted by the analysts that focused ultrasound companies could take advantage of include the ability to measure different biomarkers simultaneously, such as DNA and proteins, and the opportunity to increase the accuracy of liquid biopsy by combining FUS with data from different diagnostic modalities like MRI and ultrasound and tissue biopsy, and then use artificial intelligence to rapidly analyze all of that data. Challenges that focused ultrasound companies face in this market are similar to those faced by all liquid biopsy companies: clinical adoption and reimbursement. Treatment guidelines are published by medical societies, and they set the standard of care. Doctors may not prescribe a test if it's not included in the guidelines. And if a patient has to pay out of pocket because they're not reimbursed by insurance, patients don't want to take the test and doctors won't recommend it. To change this dynamic, multi-year actionable outcome data is needed, with explanations for doctors and insurance companies on how to act on the data. This will help with clinical practice guideline adoption as well as expanded reimbursement coverage. Focused ultrasound companies that are developing liquid biopsy indications should develop a plan for clinical studies early in their product development cycle to generate this data. And I note that it may be more rigorous than required by FDA for product authorization. The price charged to a patient for liquid biopsy is also a challenge, particularly if the patient is paying out of pocket. Today, the average cost for a liquid biopsy is between $950 and $6,800. Some companies have started pricing their tests lower in the $250 to $500 range. This could help with reimbursement and adoption, but it could drive down the price in the market overall, and this could be challenging for new companies that are entering the market. If you'd like more information on the FUS liquid biopsy market, you can send an email to the FUS Partners team on the email address on your screen. For select references that we use to prepare this presentation, the detailed slides on the liquid biopsy companies, financings, and deals completed, and the links to the FUS scientific presentations, please check out the supplemental materials. Thank you.